They're listening. We were so pleased. So, for years, like you said, I have this lived experience. Members of the Cow Bay Coalition, we have this lived experience, and it's been met with silence. And our advocacy work, which is backed by experts, has been dismissed by the current provincial government. So to have the support of our municipal government has been absolutely wonderful, and it gives us hope that that finally we may be coming to an end and that this harmful noise will be stopped.
Welcome to Municipal. Welcome to Municipal Affairs. Today we're heading to the rugged coastline of Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, a place known for its natural beauty, tight-knit communities, and resilient people. But for over 5 years, residents near the Donkin coal mine have been battling an invisible but relentless intruder, a low-frequency industrial hum, emanating from a massive ventilation fan. Fans that have been running day and night, audible for up to 7 kilometers away. Now, it has been described as torture, unbearable, and inescapable. People are sleeping in basements, suffering from fatigue, anxiety, and worse. Some have left their homes entirely, yet the noise continues, and the silence from authorities have been even louder. Kameron Coal, the mine's US-based operator, claims compliance. The province passes the buck, and in Cape Breton Regional Municipality, residents are left wondering, where is the leadership? Where is the protection? Joining us today is Kat Ferguson, a leading voice from the Cow Bay Environmental Coalition, who has been at the forefront of the grassroots fight. We'll ask Kat, what has the municipality done or failed to do? What does environmental justice look like at the local level? And what happens when a community's right to health and peace collides with industrial profits? So stay with us as we dig into the data, the noise, and the demands for accountability, because this isn't just a story about decibels, it's a story about democracy, duty, and what happens when citizens are forced to become advocates. This is Municipal Affairs. Across Canada, our cities, towns, villages, and rural communities are alive with stories waiting to be told. Stories of innovation and economic development, resilience in the face of the housing challenges, and the financial hurdles municipalities overcome every day. At the Cross Border Network, we bring these stories to life. From coast to coast to coast, we're connecting Canadians to the issues shaping our communities and showcasing the people working tirelessly to make them thrive. With your support, we can expand our reach, amplify more voices, and shine a light on the challenges and triumphs of municipal life. For as little as $3.99 a month, you can help us grow and continue sharing the stories that matter most. Join us today and be part of this important mission. Together, we can tell more stories, build stronger communities, and make a real difference. Support the Cross Border Network now. Visit www.crossborderinterviews.ca today. Catherine, thank you so much for sitting down with me today and talking about this, I would say, ongoing noise issue in the Cape Breton region. And I want to start with a very simple, basic question to get some background for my audience and for those people who may not live in your area, who may not be dealing with this noise issue on a regular basis. So, somewhat give me the Coles Note version of how the coal mine's ventilation system has come to disrupt an entire coastal community and why residents like yourself are still fighting for relief today.
Okay, so I think first of all, start by saying I live 7 kilometers from the Donkin coal mine. And for the past 5 years, my life and the life of many others have been disrupted, and my health has been adversely affected from the ventilation fans that push out methane from the Donkin coal mine. The noise that's caused from the fan blade pass is what we're hearing, and there's a vibrational aspect to it. So it's a loud industrial noise that also has a vibrational capacity to it. It's a kind of noise, it's different from regular noise, and it's a kind of noise that will penetrate wind, windows, and walls. And so there are people who have been experiencing sleep disruption for 5+ years. But because there's also a vibrational aspect to this noise, people are also dealing with health effects from the noise, be it anxiety, migraine, headaches, uh, uh, chest pains, aches, anxiety, depression. And it's been really difficult. The Donkin mine is 7 kilometers from me, 11 kilometers from other residents, and this noise travels and adversely affects them.
So, so that's going to sound like one of those weird, stupid questions, but I have to ask it right now. Can you hear it right now as we're talking?
Right now, no, no.
Okay.
So the noise comes and goes. It generally starts up in the evening and runs at night. It peaks at about 2 or 3, and then it often settles during the daytime. And it can run for 1 to 2 weeks at a time, and then we can get a break and it can be quiet for a week to 10 days.
And does the owner of the company, the American company that owns the Donkin mine, have they given you any indication of why this is running? Because in my research that I've done, the mine hasn't been fully operational in the last 5 years fully, but it seems like you're still being negatively affected by it. So has anyone given you a reason why the ventilation system is still running, even though the mine isn't fully operational?
So, first of all, the American company does not communicate to the general public. And the ventilation fans are, as I said, are venting out methane that they have to run 24/7 if the mine is in production or not. Otherwise, methane will accumulate
Yeah.
and cause some major problems.
Bigger problems than we're dealing with right now.
Yes, but I do want to emphasize that anyone in this field, in this area of expertise, knows there are fixes for this. So it's not a matter of there not being a solution for this noise. It's a matter of will to actually do the right thing and fix the noise.
In the research I've been doing, you've been with your coalition for some time. I think you're one of the founders, if I'm not mistaken, or early starters of it. What
Correct.
what got you involved? What was the catalyst to finally say, okay, we need to come together to join as a group to advocate on this issue? Because it I kind of gonna ask a very, again, stupid question, but it's my show, so I get to ask the stupid questions. Why you? Why was it important for you to be involved and get into advocating to get this issue resolved in a timely fashion, which 5 years is not a timely fashion, but here we are still trying to talk about it.
Sure. So, first reason was I couldn't sleep at night. I live in my own home. I pay for my property taxes, and there are times when I have to leave to get a good night's sleep. So that got me talking to other community members and realizing that other people were experiencing the same thing. And it was pretty clear the provincial government wasn't really that interested in protecting our health. And so we decided we needed to join together and strengthen our voice. And so that's when we created the Cow Bay Coalition to advocate for the noise and the health impacts that was causing. And I think as I got further in, there was just so much unjust. This is an issue of justice too, right? And it in it enraged me and shocked me that our provincial government is not willing to protect our health, and that they are willing to support an industry in a manner that causes us harm. And particularly now, when you think of the broader context that we're in provincially in Nova Scotia, is that our province is opening up to mining, fracking, uranium mining. And they can't even protect the health of the local residents and the local environment of an existing coal mine. How can you trust this government to move forward with other mining industries and actually protect the health and wealth of the environment and the local people? We have done extensive research, and I'm sure you've come upon this. We've consulted with experts in the field to confirm that this noise is harmful, that actually this is the worst case scenario of this type of noise called a pure tone, this industrial noise that the firm we consulted with has ever heard. We partnered with a assistant professor at Cape Breton University, Dr. Sarah Barnes and Devin Bates, and we did a research report called 1,000 Days and Counting: The Social and Health Impacts of Industrial Noise from the Donkin Mine in Cape Breton. That was released, expert opinion, dismissed by the provincial government. And we appealed. So back in December 2022, the Nova Scotia Environment and Climate Change Department renewed the industrial approval, knowing full well the harms that this was affecting the community members here. We appealed it, and also Sierra Club Canada appealed it. And the appeals were backed by expert opinion, legal analysis, and demonstrated the adverse effect of the noise. The minister rejected both appeals and refused to revoke the company's self-reporting privileges and to apply the precautionary principle. And so as I went through all this, I'm dealing with the noise, and I'm dealing with a government that is not actually regulating industry properly. And so I love Nova Scotia. I love living here. It's a wonderful province. And we as a group of the Cow Bay Coalition, we fully support development, safe and sustainable jobs, and a strong future for Cape Breton. But prosperity should never come at the expense of people's well-being. Like, it's just so wrong, right? And so I'm standing up, I'm advocating for the resolution of the Donkin mine noise. And I'm also wanting to stand up and advocate for a broader resolution of protecting community and health within this push for extractive industry.
So you've openly talked about how this has impacted your life. You said you've had to leave your house on times to go get a good night's sleep because it's just that noisy and you're 7 kilometers away. When you're speaking to other neighbors, other community members that are closer or even in your general area as well, are you hearing the same experiences? And when you talk to them, are you hearing the same experiences with seniors compared to children, to newly arrived residents that may have not have known about the noise issue when they bought their house? What are you hearing from the general community, whether it be in the 7 kilometer radius or within the 500-meter radius? Because I was looking at a map and there are some people even closer than you that probably hear this even worse than what you're hearing.
Yes. So that's a really good question. So it's a pure tone noise, and it travels differently than regular noise. So it travels at angles. So when you start talking to people and finding out who's affected, you can see the angles in which the noise is traveling. So you have that. You also have people experience a pure tone noise differently, and it affects people at different levels. So within a household, you can have someone who's badly affected by the noise, but their partner may not be so impacted by the noise. Because this is coal and this is Eastern Cape Breton, very, coming out of a post-industrial phase that was all about coal and steel. Some people are also uncomfortable speaking up um, because of the issues around that, and because of pushback from people who are pro coal mining. And so part of our advocacy work is that we're also speaking up for those who, for a lot of different reasons, aren't comfortable speaking up. So I think it's fair to say that people have different experiences of the noise. Some hear it and some do not, and some people are very impacted by it, and others are affected by it, but not as severely as some. I continue to be amazed because after 5 years of talking about this, I still meet up with someone who discloses I'm actually affected by the noise for the first time. Like, people just aren't comfortable talking about it. And I think, I, I don't know if I should say this, but I feel that because this is happening in, post-industrial Cape Breton, this company can get away with things that if it was happening in Halifax Regional Municipality, they wouldn't be able to get away with.
So you brought in the municipal angle, and I've got to ask the municipal questions because we are a municipal show and we talk about municipalities. Over the last month, you also presented to the CBRM, Cape Breton Regional Municipality,
Mm-hmm.
about this issue. Um, Point blank, did you hear from councillors and the mayor what you were hoping to hear from them, or are you speaking on deaf ears still? Because it sounds like in your conversation, in our conversation so far, the province isn't listening, the company's not listening. Is the municipality listening?
They're listening. We were so pleased. So, for years, like you said, I have this lived experience. Members of the Cow Bay Coalition, we have this lived experience, and it's been met with silence. And our advocacy work, which is backed by experts, has been dismissed by the current provincial government. So to have the support of our municipal government has been absolutely wonderful, and it gives us hope that that finally we may be coming to an end and that this harmful noise will be stopped. Um, I think so. So what happened was we presented on June the 3rd to the council, and then at their June 10th meeting, a motion was passed to confirm the bylaw and jurisdictional authority concerning the noise from the Donkin mine. So the first step is a legal review, and then once completed, it will be followed by jurisdictional review. But more importantly is that everybody at council unanimously voted to support the residents
Even the
affected
mayor?
by the noise. Yeah,
Which is weird. And
everybody.
for those who don't know, and I'm just going to put a little caveat here, the mayor of the CBRM, Cecil Clark, was the former speaker under the Progressive Conservative Party of Tim Houston in the last session. So he resigned and he became the mayor after the former mayor stepped down after the election, and he won that election. So he was in the Progressive Conservative, which we're talking about, under Tim Houston. So that's just a little background information for anyone who's listening.
Yes, yes. So we're very grateful for the support that we're receiving from the mayor and council. And I feel that it gives them a very important message that our health matters. And yeah, we're just really pleased. And we're grateful. We have a counselor, our counselor, Stephen McNeil. He came out and heard the noise. Not only did he hear it, like he was shocked by what he heard, but he could feel the vibrational aspect of it. And so he's been a strong advocate in pushing for actions to stop the Donkin mine noise. And it was very clear to us in that council meeting that he has the support of his peers. They were all really concerned about the effects this noise has been having on this community. It was really it was wonderful. It was really wonderful.
What do you hope the municipality does with the information that they've gathered? Letter of support and passing a bylaw is great, but there has to be some other action to ensure that this doesn't just fall on deaf ears. And I hate to use that word lightly because of the issues that you're dealing with, but if they
Right.
don't start advocating to the province, have you got confirmation from the CBRM that they would be bringing this up with the Minister of Environment, Minister of Energy, the Premier, to ensure that this doesn't just go away because they've passed a bylaw saying we're going to advocate, or passed a policy saying we're going to advocate?
Correct. So so as I said, right now they're doing a legal review, and that'll be followed by the jurisdictional review. And we'll be working closely with our counselor, who will be working closely with the CBRM council. So we will be following closely. Our expectation is that they will provide a letter of support and additional work. I think at the moment, I think it really gives a message that there's an issue here, and that this is not okay. And there's, seriousness in what the residents have been experiencing from the Donkin coal mine. So
Going
I'm hoping that it'll put more pressure on the provincial government.
Was the June 3rd meeting where you presented to council the first meeting that you presented to council?
Yes,
Why?
yes, it
Why did
was.
it, why did it take 5 years to present to council? Because from my standpoint, you think you would go, and I'm just being honest here because I'm a municipal nerd, and I would say the first step for myself would go to the municipal office and say, okay, I want to speak in front of council and get their opinion. So that way, if I go to the province, I would have some backup. What took you so long to go to the municipality and say, okay, we want to talk to you about this issue?
When we had a municipal election earlier within the last year, our new councillor was Stephen McNeil. It was very clear that he was a hardworking, good person who really cared about the community and was willing to roll up his sleeves and saw an injustice as an injustice, and was there to work. He's a hardworking, smart, efficient person, and he got involved. We reached out to him, and he stepped up in a way that we hadn't had before.
So, what's the ideal win here for the coalition? Is it the mine being shut down? Is it the fans stop running? Is it a silencer on the fans, the exhaust fans? What is a win that you are looking for from the company, from the province, from the municipality? Because it sounds like there's multiple wins that you would want. What would be number one for yourself?
The first win is that they stop the noise, and that can be the noise can be stopped by installing a proper sort of muffler system that would absorb that frequency of noise. Um,
Which they're out there, right? Because I'm
yes.
assuming
Oh, they are.
they have done that. Have they told you why they haven't installed it, or they won't even tell you that?
They don't tell us anything. Like, it's like
I'm getting frustrated at you for what you're dealing with right now there, Catherine. Sorry.
oh, it's crazy. I never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined I'd be in a situation where I'm being treated the way I'm being treated right now. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So
it's
what
shameful.
so besides a muffler, which is
Yeah,
on the market today, what else are you looking for? Are you looking for the mine to shut down? Is that because you seem to want to sort of balance the economic benefits, but also want to talk about the health and concerns that you have? So what is an all-out win? And I
that's a
shouldn't say
really
and I shouldn't say win. I'm going to preface that. I shouldn't say win. I should say what would be a suitable conclusion to this issue? Is it you being able to sleep in your house 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year?
yes.
Not have to go get a hotel room somewhere else that you're not in the general vicinity? Like, what would you feel comfortable if the province came to you tomorrow and said, Catherine, how can we help you live in your house? What is that?
I want them to stop the noise. So, I mean, and it's yes, I don't want to have to leave my home to sleep. I want to be able to function during the daytime. I want to be able to actually live in my house and on my property without having the health effects that I have from the noise. At the moment, this mine has not been in operation for 2 years. I would like to know what the plan is. If it's not going to be in operation ever, then I'm not sure why we're keeping it in an idled state. However, I don't have a comment on that at the moment because it's very complicated. Um,
Because I've read
and
reports that the company is waiting for the price of coal to rebound with everything going on in the States right now. I'm assuming that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. So there's a lot of unknowns that this, and when I saw that it was still idling and not doing anything, it just kind of shook my head. But it sounds like you're not getting. And I should mention for those who are watching and listening, I have reached out to both the minister and to the company for comment on this story. If they do not, this is going to air. And if they get back to me after this airs, I will have them on the show and I will have the conversation with them. But I've reached out to them. And by the sounds of it, from all the other conversations that I've read, the news reports, they don't do that many interviews on this subject. So we will see what happens. But continue on there.
so, I mean, that's interesting. One of the things I do want to say is that with our communications with Nova Scotia Environment and Climate Change, they have an interesting narrative in that the noise guidelines do not, they've been recently updated, but they've been weakened, not strengthened for us. The revised guidelines exempt the company from measuring the pure tone properly. There's a certain method
Yeah.
that you use. It's common knowledge, but our government is using an outdated one that does not protect community health. And so their narrative back to us has been, we can't do anything you have unless we can test. Well, they're not testing the actual culprit of what's causing the problem. And during noise monitoring period, the noise disappears. There's an ability to manage this noise for certain periods of time. And so, quite frankly, the community is always relieved when we hear that there's going to be a test, particularly if it's a 1 week or 2 week period, because then we know it's going to be quiet. So we're sort of stuck in this circle, this narrative response from Nova Scotia Environment, which is really frustrating. It's not authentic, and it instead of acknowledging the harm they're causing, they continue with this narrative of theirs.
While we have talked about the health concerns and the health challenges that you have and your community members have faced due to this, I want to talk about something else that is often overlooked during these type of challenges as well. Have property values taken a hit because of this?
Mm. I'm
Are you seeing
I'm not.
people are you seeing people sell their houses and leave and taking a loss on their properties, or are you seeing people leave because they just can't stand the noise anymore and they'd rather leave because it seems like an endless like non-issue for the province of Nova Scotia because it seems like they're not doing much, and I'm saying that as respectfully as I can. Are you seeing people leave and potentially take a loss on their property values just to get out of the constant challenge and health challenges that they face?
Uh, well, I mean, one of our members, well, two of our members, they're partners. They had to move because of the noise. Other community members have contemplated, but have chosen or are choosing not to. But it's a conversation that has come up for numerous people, for sure. I know of a couple of people who,
Because I asked that question. I apologize to interrupt, but I asked that question because I know I will get at least one person emailing me after this goes out saying, why doesn't Catherine just move? Why doesn't she move if she is upset with where she's living and what the issues that are around her? What do you?
well,
I know you're rolling your eyes, but you had to have known this question was probably going to come because
sure.
I'm going to get it. And I'm going to have to go. I didn't ask that question, so now I've actually asked that question and I can respond. Why don't you just move? Why don't you just pick up and sell your house and go somewhere else that's a little bit less noisy?
I am living on the property that my great aunts and uncles farmed and fished, and their ancestors before them farmed and fished. I've known this property all my life. I've spent every summer here until we moved back permanently. And I've been here long before this mine entered the scene. And I am not moving. And no one's pushing me off my land. And I am staying here and fighting for my right to sleep in my own home. And my voice, our voice, is getting louder. We're gathering, we're organizing, we're gathering more people, we're onboarding other organizations with our messaging, and we're building momentum.
Are you optimistic though that it can get solved?
I'm determined. I'm determined it will get solved because it can be solved. And
But
shame
but
on
can it?
the
Can it
government
be?
that
And
won't.
I kind of jokingly asked that question because I hope it can be changed. But the roadblocks that you're hitting must just be like exhausting because if the province isn't giving you what they want, they aren't talking to you as what they should be. The company isn't saying anything, even though I think they have a duty to do that, especially in the surrounding area.
Mhm.
While you feel like you're going to do it, can you actually say that with everything you've faced over the last 5 years? And it seems like it's getting worse before it gets better.
Well, I'm not giving up.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for
Yes.
you, Catherine. I love it. I love the optimism and the fight and the determination. So you're not the only municipality, you're not the only community organization that is dealing with coal mines right now. You are not the only organization that is probably dealing with ventilations or noise issues that are coming from
Mhm.
industrial mining companies. What recommendation would you have to other community organizations who are dealing the exact same thing as you? Because strength is in numbers. And you probably have fallen into a few pitfalls yourself as you've entered into this advocacy world that is so crazy and sometimes very challenging. What would you recommend to other organizations that are going through what you're going through to ensure that they don't hit the same pitfalls that you have?
Do not trust the provincial government. Do your research. Form an organization, network, and amplify your voice and advocate for what you know is right. Yeah.
Do you wish you would
And
have gone to
that,
would you recommend to people to go to the municipality first?
well,
If you have a
if you have
strong council.
yeah, if you have a strong council, and a supportive counselor, um, reach out, reach out to all levels of government, really, and move forward with that, and network. You need numbers behind you. You need organizations and voices of support behind you. We recently, so there was in the wintertime, there was a rally in front of Providence House, the Nova Scotia Legislative Building. And it was a response to when the progressive conservative government revealed their extractive industry agenda. And so members of our coalition were down there, and there was about 600 people, and it was pretty powerful, and it was a really wonderful networking opportunity too, and to start to recognize that we're all dealing with different issues, but the themes are very similar, and you want to tap into that, and you want to connect with people with expertise. You want to be backed. Your messaging, you want that backed by expert opinion too. Mm-hmm.
What I'm just cautious of time here, and I have a few more interviews later on today. But I asked you for a half hour. We're at the half hour mark, but you said I could get a few extra minutes if I had to ask a few questions. What haven't we talked about that you want people to know about this issue? Because might be listened to people in the Cape Breton region, the Cow Bay region. What would you want them to know about what you've gone through? Because some people might say, "Oh, I've never heard of this," or "Oh, it's just Catherine just speaking out of tongue here, and she's just upset about what's going on, and she can move." What would you want people to know that we have not talked about that you want to make sure people take away from this interview?
I think I think it's that this has been the most unjust experience I've ever had, and that nobody should go through this. No community should go through this, and that we can have economic development, industry without without being a sacrificial zone. And this area is being sacrificed for the profits of an American company and a government that is standing by and allowing it to happen. And that is not right. And that my health and the health of numerous people in this area should never be compromised this way. And
There,
if it can happen to us, it can happen to any other community. Mm-hmm.
there's one area, the one level of government that we have not talked about, and I remembered that I should ask it. I took it out of the line of questions, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Have you approached the federal MP? Have you approached the federal
Yes.
government? And what's their response? Are they basically just passing the buck to say, go talk to the province, or are they taking it seriously?
They've been helpful. They've reached out to the province and advocated on our behalf. I am planning to have another meeting with our MP the end of this summer because I feel that, you know, up to this point, our conversations have been around the noise, which is within provincial jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that there's a little area to maneuver, and that's difficult. However, there the Donkin mine is on a peninsula, and the area is drains into the Atlantic Ocean. So there's a concern around acid mine drainage. That would be fisheries. But also this is a noise issue, but it's become a health issue. And so I will be um, having a meeting, requesting a meeting with our two MPs actually on Cape Breton Island, because one is our MP who is the mine is in their jurisdiction, and I'm right on the line, and so my MP isn't in the the jurisdiction that the mine is now. But I will be meeting with requesting to meet with both of them to create a path forward, and I'm confident that they'll be supportive.
And
Yeah,
just for clarification, who is the MP of the coal mine and who's the your MP? Is it Cody Blois?
yeah. So Mike Kellaway
Callaway.
is, and Mike Kellaway was my MP prior to the boundary alteration. And then Jaime Baptiste is my new MP, whom I haven't had a chance to meet yet, but I'm looking forward to introducing myself to him.
Before I let you go, one final question. How can people learn more? How can people get involved in the Cow Bay Coalition? How can people
Mm-hmm.
reach out to you and offer their support? How can people reach out and learn more about what you're going through and all the amazing work that you're doing to advocate for not only yourself, but your entire neighborhood, if that neighborhood is 7 kilometers long and wide?
So, yes, we have, for more information and a deeper dive into the issue, we have a website. It's gobsmack.org. We also have a social media campaign on Facebook called Power Beyond Coal. And the Power Beyond Coal campaign is dedicated to raising public awareness about the serious environmental and health issues associated with the Donkin coal mine. Um, and it's also putting pressure on our government to stop coal mining and burning of coal and invest in sustainable, safe, and secure jobs in Cape Breton. And so we encourage people to join us in the campaign and follow us along on Facebook. The Power Beyond Coal campaign is sort of spotlighting the work that the Cow Bay Coalition is doing around the Donkin mine noise.
For those who want more information, the links to the website and the Facebook pages will be in the show notes below. So if you're listening to this on the audio platforms, be sure to go to the show notes. If you're watching this on YouTube, scroll down and the links will be underneath us. Um, Kat, Catherine, sorry. I want to thank you so
No,
much.
that's okay.
Um, I feel like we've scratched the surface, and I will probably have you back on if I have the minister or the company, which I'm assuming the company will not talk, but who knows? I've seen stranger things happen on my show before, so we will hold our breath and wait for the minister or the anyone from the province. And I say anyone from the province. If it doesn't have to be the minister, it can be a spokesperson for the ministry. They want to come on and talk about this issue as it affects many people in the CBRM region and in the Donkin Mines area region. So please come on and talk about this issue because I think it's not going away. And when I'm out there in Nova Scotia in October, and I'm at the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities convention, and where all the ministers will be, I will be asking this question. If so, either it happens in June or July, or it happens in October. You guys decide. Catherine,
That's
thank you so much
fantastic.
for chatting with me. Always a pleasure. And I feel like this will be a start of a beautiful friendship. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for offering me the time and the interest in our issue. And I really appreciate this chance to speak.
Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Municipal Affairs. Now, we hope you've enjoyed today's conversation and gained some valuable insights. To stay in the loop with all of our latest episodes, be sure to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platforms or by hitting the subscribe button on YouTube at Cross Border Network. Your support means the world to us. So share this episode with your friends, your family, and yes, even your community. Now, to learn more about today's guest and past guests, visit us online at crossborderinterviews.ca. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll be back with a brand new episode of Municipal Affairs shortly. Till then, everyone.